Well, we are getting breaking news out of Iran at the moment. Explosions have been heard in the capital, Tehran. US media that Israel is preparing to strike Iran.
Israel's airstrike on Iran. What really happened? On June 13, 2025, the Middle East woke up to a major escalation that could reshape the region's future. After weeks of rising tensions, Israel launched a wide-scale airstrike on Iran, targeting key military and nuclear infrastructure. This wasn't just a warning shot. It was one of the boldest military operations in the region in recent years. The operation, reportedly dubbed Operation Rising Lion by Israeli Defense Forces, was a direct response to Iran's increasing aggression, missile buildup, and alleged plans to accelerate its nuclear weapons program. According to military analysts and satellite imagery released by independent observers, Israeli fighter jets crossed into Iranian airspace in the early hours of Friday morning, striking at least 9 key locations across central and southern Iran. Among the confirmed targets were Iran's Natanz nuclear facility, Isfahan's missile production site, and military bases near Khorramabad and Tehran. Several Iranian ballistic missile silos, along with air defense systems, were also destroyed. The airstrikes were carried out with a combination of F-35 stealth fighters, drones, and precision-guided munitions. U.S. sources, including Pentagon briefings, confirmed that the United States was notified shortly before the strike, but did not participate. Iranian state media initially denied the scale of the attack, claiming that enemy drones were intercepted. However, footage released by citizens and independent journalists painted a different story. Fireballs lighting up the sky, emergency sirens in Tehran, and rescue operations underway in Isfahan. By midday, Iranian authorities were forced to acknowledge the damage. Eyewitness reports confirmed multiple explosions at the Natanz nuclear site, a facility long suspected by the West of being central to Iran's nuclear enrichment efforts. Several buildings were reduced to rubble, and satellite images released by Maxar Technologies the following morning showed craters at the exact locations where uranium enrichment centrifuges were reportedly housed. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, admitted the loss of several high-ranking officers. Among them was General Hassan Moghadam, one of the country's key figures in missile development, and nuclear scientist Dr. Sayed Reza Tabassoli. The exact number of casualties remains unconfirmed, but unofficial reports suggest over 100 military personnel were killed or injured. Iran's response came swiftly. Within 24 hours, Iran launched a retaliatory attack using over 100 drones, primarily Shahed 136 models, aimed at Israeli military bases and strategic assets. The Israeli Defense Forces reported that 95% of the drones were intercepted mid-air using the Iron Dome and David's Sling defense systems. Some debris fell in civilian areas, but no significant damage or casualties were reported. International reactions have been swift and divided. The United Nations called for immediate de-escalation, while the European Union expressed concern over the possibility of all-out war. The United States reiterated that it was not involved in the strike, but supported Israel's right to self-defense. Russia and China, meanwhile, condemned the airstrike as a violation of Iranian sovereignty. This operation did not emerge in a vacuum. Over the past several months, Iran had intensified its support for proxy militias across the region, including Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, and various armed groups in Syria and Iraq. Rocket attacks on Israeli and U.S. bases had surged, and Israeli intelligence believed that Iran was moving closer to weapons-grade uranium enrichment. In April 2025, a leaked IAEA report indicated that Iran had enriched uranium to 84%, alarmingly close to the 90% required for nuclear weapons. This revelation, combined with an intercepted communication between IRGC officials discussing potential strikes on Israeli soil, is believed to have triggered the decision in Tel Aviv to launch a preemptive operation. Despite the precision of the attack, Israel has not publicly claimed responsibility. But key Israeli officials, including Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, hinted that nations that threaten our existence will face consequences far beyond rhetoric. The IDF posted a cryptic message shortly after the attack. When you prepare to strike us, you risk the cost of silence turning into thunder. For now, the region sits on a knife's edge. Diplomats are scrambling to contain the fallout, while both countries remain on high alert. What's clear is that this was not just another border skirmish, it was a signal, a declaration that the shadow war between Israel and Iran may be entering a far more dangerous and open phase. Whether this leads to full-scale war or pulls both sides back from the brink depends on what happens next. In the skies, on the ground, and behind closed diplomatic doors. But for millions in the region, the echoes of June 13th will not fade anytime soon.